You clicked on this video for a reason, right? Maybe you have this unsettling feeling of waiting for your real life to begin. Maybe from the bottom of your gut, you know you were born to do something impactful with your life. Something more than just going to an ordinary job and living an ordinary life. And maybe you're even contemplating to quit your job to pursue your higher calling. Well, all right then. Come on, let's stop dilly-dallying and get into it. Starting now. Hi there, this is Ray from Regards Ray. So a little about how I started looking for my purpose in life. Believe me, it's not an exaggeration when I say that my life has been one long existential search for a higher purpose. From the bottom of my soul, I felt that I was born for a reason, for a specific mission to help humanity. And maybe you're like me and felt that way too. You might have asked, why was I born? Is my birth part of a divine plan? Or was it just accidental? If I'm part of a big divine purpose, then why am I not given a plan then? I mean, how am I to serve humanity? Look, I get it. I was there. Heck, I'm still there right now. But I do have thoughts to offer up about this. Keep watching if you've been thinking about these questions and more. So here's a truth that no one wants to tell you because no one wants to burst your bubble. The fact is, we don't actually have a grand purpose in life, at least not in the way we think. In other words, you can't really achieve it in the way you think. Let's say you want to be an inspirational life coach who moves people in significant ways. You want that to be your purpose in life. Well, the manifestation of that is not really your part to do. That's actually God's part or Source's part or the infinite intelligence's part or whatever name that you have for God. And this is how it actually works. There is source energy, a collective energy that swirls around, collecting information, sensing people's developments and their hearts. Our hearts, our soul is always connected to the collective infinite energy. In its infinite wisdom, it decides that it wants to give birth to something in the world. For example, have a certain message come through, a message so strong that it'll wake up people in masses. Now, as the energy of the message grows ripe, it'll look for avenues that could be used to let it out and deliver. In this case, through people who are ready, people who are in the frequency to serve as avenues for the message to come through. That's why you see at certain periods in time, people from all over the world spring up with similar messages at similar times. Discoveries and inventions that change history are made in this way as well. For example, Jack Kilby and Robert Noyce invented the microchip within 6 months of each other. There were several people who invented the television all at the same time. Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison came up with the electric power current around the same time. And we all know Bill Gates and Steve Jobs innovated the personal computer around the same time as well. Now, there are countless of examples where multiple independent discoveries were made around the same time. The point of all this is that the grand purpose we're looking for, it's not ours to achieve. The grand, higher purpose that changes worlds is determined and accomplished by God, Spirit, Source, Universe, etc. Our job is to live with our hearts and stay connected to Source, to Spirit, to God, to Universe, and be ready for the messages to come through us. It's our job to move away from our analytical head and become finely tuned to our heart and to our soul. And that's it. That's where our job ends. We don't try to achieve some kind of outcome. That's not our job. Okay, but I understand what you're gonna say. I know people are gonna ask, then why does it feel like it's up to us to find the right purpose? I mean, why are we looking for a life purpose in a form of a job, a task, or a role? Why do we feel like we were meant to do something extraordinary? And if we can only do it, we'll feel like we finally arrived. Right? Well, that's mainly because we're used to achieving goals in this way. We're used to setting a goal and then dreaming up an idea or an image of us when we have achieved this goal. We follow a disciplined routine, sometimes despite what our inner self is saying. And then, finally, after long, hard, stress-filled days, we reach our goal, but not without damages. Our body and mind have suffered, but we think to ourselves, well, no pain, no gain. We put too much pressure and responsibility on ourselves instead of creating as part of a whole. When you're trying to create something, you have to understand that it's not completely dependent on us. It's more of a birth that happens by the collective. Many, many, many people have to be in the right place just at the right time. And many moving parts have to merge to create thousands of circumstances that are just perfect. And so to put so much responsibility for manifesting on ourselves, on just one person, is simply not right. Anyways, because we're so used to hearing things like, if you set your mind to it, you can achieve it, and things like that, we put way too much pressure on ourselves, on just one single person, when we're just one very small part of the whole creation wheel. This was the only way we have learned to achieve anything, by sheer will and pain. So then naturally, our approach to finding our life purpose or any spiritual goal would be in this way as well. You dream up an image of yourself once you're living your higher purpose. And through some disciplined practice like meditation, yoga, spiritual studies, whatnot, you try to bring it into fruition, become the sensational guru, the person that the masses admire and adore. Well, this is not how true leaders are born. I know you feel it in your bones that you are meant to do something significant. I don't think it's something that your ego has dreamed up, and it's completely false. But then you have to think about this. Who defines what this significant purpose is? Who is saying what's significant and what's not? I think it's our ego that says that, and not really our heart. Our ego has been trained to think of things in terms of hierarchy. But our true selves, which the heart reflects, knows no hierarchy. And it has no ranks for actions. It doesn't judge an activity as being superior or inferior to another activity. Your heart only knows joy and no joy, resonance and dissonance. No action is more significant or insignificant to your heart as long as it can give you joy. So there is no should with your heart. It's much more effective and much better to ask your heart, what is it that you would enjoy? What resonates with you? What can you lose yourself in? Even if you answer these questions with a mundane, ordinary activity, just keep in mind that that is your purpose right now. Know that doing that is going to help you align with your core self and become a great channel to bring forth original ideas, original thoughts that shake the world. But you won't find your purpose if you're holding off on living until one day it hits you. It doesn't work that way. And whatever you do throughout your day, stay connected to your heart. Learn to listen to the ringings of your heart, your core. And don't judge yourself or limit yourself with all the shoulds. Stay connected with your heart. That is your grand purpose. And any original thoughts that want to come through you, it will when you're ready. But it's always going to be in the context of you just having fun, doing what you love best, and you already feeling fulfilled. You'll already be doing what you love, so you won't need something grand to come along. but it will. And when it does, you will wonder along with people how such a powerful thought could have come through you. And you'll be overwhelmed with humility and gratefulness that you can witness such beauty and it chose you to come through. And you'll say what most people who have experienced this say, that I never dreamed that my life could be like this. I never fathomed that my work would get this much attention. And that's how it's supposed to work. So what you do every day, do it out of joy, not out of discipline. So the main takeaway from this is don't worry about finding a job or a task that'll fulfill the role of your life purpose. Instead, stay connected to your core self, your heart, your spirit. Find out what resonates with you and what you find joy in, and then do that. Don't worry about what you should do. Instead, think in terms of what I want to do, what would give me joy. Don't do anything with a specific outcome in mind. The outcome isn't really your responsibility. Let the outcome reveal itself to you. Instead, just be good at expressing yourself. That way, when the message is ready to come through you, when the message is ripe, you'll be connected enough to pick it up and you'll be good at expressing yourself already. Regards, Ray.